Hello, children, and welcome back to my YouTube classroom. And I hope you all are hale and hearty, enjoying as you have been doing. Today, children, we are going to do a little bit revision of the lesson India Physical Divisions Part 2. So, without wasting time, let's quickly begin with this lesson. And I hope that this lesson's revision will help you a lot for the unit test. Please go through and get yourself polished up. So, India Physical Divisions, chapter number 15, page 123. So, the first, the topic which the chapter talks about is the desert region. Rajasthan, which has been divided into two parts by the Aravalli Range. Rajasthan has been divided by the Aravalli Range, where the western side is covered with sand and is called the Great Indian Desert. Another name, a very famous name for the Great Indian Desert is the Thar Desert, which extends from the Rann of Kutch in Gujarat to the borders of Haryana. Now, what is a desert, children? Desert is a vast area of flat land covered with sand, and it is also called the sandy plains. Small hills of sand are called sand dunes. Sand dunes which move from one place to the other, they are known as sand dunes. Like when strong winds blow, these sand dunes tend to shift and they form small hills called the sand dunes. Storms, which are called the dust storms, are a common feature in Rajasthan. Since it is a desert area, so it is a very common stormy which has desert, which has sand in it, is quite famous in Rajasthan. Now, what about the climate and natural vegetation of the desert region? Children, the climate of desert remains very hot and dry throughout the year. Rainfall is very less, scanty, which leads to shortage of water. Many places, rainwater is, kept or it is stored. But what about the areas which are in desert regions? They don't have any access to water. Therefore, these areas such as Rajasthan, they have very less water. And this leads to shortage of water. Summer season is marked by hot days and cool nights. During winters, days are warm but nights are extremely cold. During winters, days are warm but nights are extremely cold. Now, the days remain very hot, and the night they become very cold. Then, children, there is hardly any vegetation. Vegetation just zero. Only thorny bushes, different varieties of cactus and kikar grow here. Children, at some places underground water comes to the surface. Such places are known as oases. And date palms are grown here as the soil around is very fertile. That is why few trees grow there. Villages are found around oases. Villages are found because everybody needs water. So therefore oasis is the only form of water, only source of water for these people. Therefore villages, people in very scanty areas, in less amount people start residing by the oasis. Then a caravan is a large group of people traveling across the desert. They normally rest near an oasis, and after a long journey through the hot desert, they rest in the oasis. And then next, children, shortage of water supply in these areas. What about the water supply which is in this area? So children, the water supply is acute, and desert, that rainfall is very little. As a result, this region remains hot and dry, and there are streams, but they are very few. Streams, how many people can go to a stream and get the water filled? Some people may be having for 1 kilometer, a distance of 1 kilometer, some may be having a distance of 20 kilometer. So it's difficult to get through the streams and fetch water from there. The government has taken certain steps to ease the difficult life of people living in the desert. And water of Satluj River and its tributaries now reach the desert through the Indira Gandhi Canal, also known as the Rajasthan Canal. This has changed the life of the people and has also made the desert green. It has started making the the area quite green because of the Indira Gandhi Canal. Around this canal, green fields have come up over a period of time, and farmers grow wheat, gram, bajra, jawar and maize. Suratgarh near Ganganagar has grown into the biggest and largest wheat farm in Asia, and it tends to become the most helpful canal for the people who do not get water in that area. And Suratgarh near Ganganagar, this is the place which has grown into the biggest and largest wheat farm in Asia. Now children, the coastal plains. India has a long coastline and it is about 7,600 kilometers long. The coastal plain is a strip of plain land near the sea. The Deccan Plateau is surrounded by narrow coastal plains on the eastern and the western sides. The plain along the western coast is the western coastal plains. You can see on the picture which is being shown. The plain along the eastern coastal is known as the eastern coastal plains. Now children, coastal plains is divided into two parts, western coastal and eastern coastal plains. Both plains meet at a point which is the southernmost tip of the Indian mainland. You can see in the picture, and that meeting area is known as Kanyakumari. It is known as Kanyakumari. Now let's talk about western coastal plains. The western coastal plains lie between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. You can see in the picture children, on the left hand side near the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. It extends from the Gulf of Kutch in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. And this west coast receives a lot of rainfall from the monsoon winds. It has a wet or humid climate which is good for growing spices, coconut, rice and bananas. Kandla, Panaji, Mangalore and Kochi are the important seaports on the western coast. Now once again children, western coastal plains is divided into two parts, the Konkan coast and the Malabar coast. So let's talk about the Konkan coast. The middle part of the western coastal plain is known as the Konkan coast. It extends from the Gulf of Khambat to Goa. You can see in the picture also, it extends from Gulf of Khambat to Goa. Then Mumbai, in between Konkan coast, Mumbai is an important seaport on the Konkan coast. Now Malabar coast. The Malabar coast is the southern part of this plain. It extends from Goa to Kanyakumari. You can see in the picture. This coast is famous for saltwater lakes called lagoons or khayals and also known as backwaters. Lagoons are connected to one another by canals. And Kochi is the most important seaport and has a huge shipbuilding yard here. Fine children, so this is all about the Konkan coast, Malabar coast and the eastern coastal plains. Now let's talk about the eastern coastal plains. Now the eastern coastal plains children, they lie between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. Rainfall is quite low in this region. You can see Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers flowing from the deltas. And these rivers, they make The eastern coast, very fertile. Because rice is the main crop of this region and rice is grown in a huge amount in this region, therefore it is called the rice bowl of India. Please remember, eastern coastal plains are known as the rice bowl of India. Sugarcane, cotton and tobacco are grown here. Now the northern part of the coast is called the Northern Sircars, and Visakhapatnam is the most important port here. Plus the Coromandel coast is the southern part of the eastern coastal plains. And the coastline is straight, which makes Chennai one of the largest ports of India, which is situated in this region. Now, a few terms which you need to know, children. First is caravan. It is a group of people traveling across a desert. Then Gulf, children, a narrow part of the sea which enters the land. Lagoons, a saltwater lake separated from the sea. Oasis, fertile area in a desert where underground water comes to the surface. Sand dune, a small hill of sand. Seaport, trading center and a place from where ships sail. So these are the most important terms which we have learnt in this paragraph, in this lesson, and a few points you should remember. So let me also tell you, children, the Great Indian Desert, which is also known as the Thar Desert, it lies in Rajasthan. Then desert is a vast area of flat land covered with sand. In deserts, summer season is marked to be the hottest, and in winters, days are warm but nights become very, very cold, extremely cold. Oases are the places where underground water comes to the surface. And Indira Gandhi Canal has changed the life of the people and has also made the desert green. Because of this canal, like I told you, people can access to water. The plain along the western coast of India is called the Western Coastal Plain, and the plain along the eastern coast is known as the Eastern Coastal Plains. The two coastal plains meet at Kanyakumari, which is the southernmost tip of India. And then important ports on the western coastal plains are Mumbai, Kandla, Panji and Bangalore. And important ports on the eastern coastal plains are Visakhapatnam and Chennai. So children, this is all about the revision of this lesson. I hope you are just going to get thorough with it. Please make sure that you are going to study hard for the upcoming exams and upcoming tests. And also children, you need to go through the lessons very nicely, because they help you a lot. When you read these lessons, they will help you thoroughly during the exams, because then before the exams you don't need to rush up or mug up things. When you keep on revising things, it becomes easier for you. So children, that's it. Please make sure that you study hard, and that's it with the chapter. God bless you. Stay healthy. Take care. Bye-bye. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.